Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Last month was the very first World Watercolor Month. It was an art challenge to do a watercolor piece every day for the entire month of July. I thought it would be fun to do a sketchbook flip through to let you guys see what I did through all of last month. Before we get into the sketchbook though, I'm going to do a quick run through of supplies that I used. Most of the time I was just using my water brush because it was so stinking handy. For paints, I used a little bit of pretty much everything I have. I used my, if I can get it open, I used my Daler and Rowney palette, my Prima marketing palette, as well as this little pan in here. That is an M Graham color. And then I used my Schminke palette as well. And one other color, I didn't use this in too many. This one is a Daniel Smith. I've had this sketchbook for a couple years actually. It was given to me as a gift and it's beautiful. It's genuine leather and then it has handmade paper in it, and I was actually scared to use it. You know how sometimes you see beautiful things and you're just scared to ruin them so you don't use them at all? But I figured it was perfect time to use this. I left this page blank on purpose because I was going to do an intro page or something. This was accidental because the page is stuck together and I didn't notice that there was nothing there. So to begin, this was the first piece and it is actually not finished. I'm going to maybe eventually go back and finish it, but I couldn't figure out where to put the tail and all that. One of the things I noticed right away about using this sketchbook is that because the paper, here actually, I don't know if it'll pick it up, but right here, see how that's kind of ragged looking? This paper does not erase well at all, so I would try sketch something and if I didn't like it I'd try erase and it would just chew up the paper. So it did not take erasing well. I either had to draw things exactly the way I wanted them or work mistakes into the sketch because otherwise I would ruin the paper. I really like the colors in this one. This was for the 4th of July and I had a lot of fun with it. Okay, so as you can see, there's a little insert in here. These aren't going to be exactly in order, but I tried to get them pretty close to the order I did them in. I was going to use the sketchbook for the entire month, but after about a week, I was really struggling with the texture of the paper and not being able to erase. So about half of them are going to be on smoother paper. Because I didn't have really clear ideas, I needed to sketch and erase until I got what I was looking for. So some of them are going to be on the smoother paper, and some of them are going to be in the sketchbook. I made a point to try and experiment with things and do subjects that I don't normally draw, which would be wolves. These were going to be majestic, stunning wolves, and because I don't do wolves, my proportions are a little off, so they're little chibs. I really had a lot of fun with this one. It's different than I normally do, but really loved it. Another thing about this paper that I really like is it could take so much water and not bleed through. The only trouble I had with it was here, this eye I was having trouble with, so I ended up putting a little bit of pen and ink over it to make it as dark as I needed. The paper was a little wet, so that shows through a tiny bit right there. But that is the only one that showed through, and it was because I was working it too much. You normally can't see anything when you flip the page, and I used a lot of paint and a lot of water for some of these, and I thought that was really nice. My kittens were helping me one day, so I decided I'd do a kitty. And it was so much fun to experiment this month. Just do a ton of different things. And this one and this one are actually on a marker illustrator board, so it's even smoother than my watercolor paper. I really like it, actually. I love this one. I had so much fun with this one. It was so hot the day that I painted this one. I was hoping it would cool me off. It didn't. So here's one that I used that Daniel Smith in, and I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but it's got a little bit of reflective shimmer in it naturally because it's one of their genuine colors. Isn't he cute? He has a little sunburned belly. Also, the week that it was very hot here and we were melting. I was so happy with how this one turned out. It was so neat to experiment with that one, and I really liked how it came out. This one isn't actually one of the pieces. I was just playing around and I couldn't really get anything out of it, but it does correlate to the next one I'm going to show you. I didn't have any ideas, and so I was just doodling and decided it wasn't going to work for that day's count. But this area right here, I was looking at it kind of like at that angle, and I thought this piece right here looked vaguely like the shape of a fawn. So that got me thinking about fantasy creatures. So I grabbed my little block and this happened. I was actually really happy about this one too. Proportions on this one are all off, but I had a lot of fun doing it. And then the rest of my notebook is blank, and I have 3 more. This one isn't finished yet. I'm hoping to finish it eventually. And this one isn't finished yet either, but I really like the way it's going. And then this one. So those are all of my World Watercolor pieces, minus 2 because I gave them away. But it was such a fun month, and it was really neat to experiment with things, try new subjects and new colors and new techniques. I got to the end of July and I was thinking, it would be kind of nice not to do anything every night. But then I'll kind of miss it because now I have that habit of wanting to do it. So this piece is actually the perfect segue into the next announcement. I found out that August is Smogust, and it's another art challenge. I think it might be fairly new because I can't find any information about it, but it is an entire month of dragons. And I love dragons. They're my favorite subject, so I am really excited to be doing an entire month of them. I'm hoping to do another one of these flip through videos at the end of August so you can see all my dragons. If you want to see them as they progress, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Toodles!